In this video, we're gonna be looking into how we can create this animation in which a moon is revolving around the Earth. In this video, we're gonna be creating a very simple design where the moon is gonna be orbiting the Earth. So I just created a new file. I'm gonna delete this default cube and hit Shift A in order to add a mesh, which is gonna be UV sphere. Then I'm gonna do copy paste, and then so we copy paste by Control C and Control V. Okay, and then this sphere is added, but it's added on top or on top of the old sphere. So in order to move it, I will press G and move it here. Actually, again G and move it a little bit here. And then what we're going to be doing is that this sphere and this sphere, right? We do want to scale the spheres, but before that I do want to align the object which I just moved. So what I would do is, like, I will click this sphere and press and hold shift and click this central sphere. Then I would go to the object, transform, and align objects. This window is gonna pop up, so I'm gonna say align them with z-axis. So if you move that, so now you can see that they are aligned on the z-axis. Okay, this is because we wanted, when the moon is gonna be orbiting the Earth, we wanted it to be on the same plane. Nice. Okay, now we do wanna scale this thing. For that, we'll just select scale and make it bigger, and the other one is gonna be the smaller one. The third thing is, we do wanna, right now if you go to the animation, you would see that the camera can only see this much. We wanted to first move it back, and this is not what so we're gonna, this is the scaling one. We wanted to go to the move, do the move. So I will go back and up, again back and up. Then I will do the rotation, right? You wanna, so right now if you go to the animation, you don't see anything. So you wanna move it. So after you have played enough with the camera position, in order to bring the whole both the spheres in the frame, we're gonna move back to our um, this, like the the central sphere. And okay, so after that we're gonna be adding the animation, right? So actually before that, uh, just make sure that, because the animation works like the other software, like if you start resizing the spheres while you are at other like while you are not on the 0th frame, what's gonna happen, it's gonna, just like the other editing software, you would see that the sphere is actually resizing and going back to its original size, which we had at the 0th frame. So if you want the size to be consistent for the whole animation, you need to resize it and then start the animation, or start putting in the keyframes. So what we're gonna be doing is, like, basically we're gonna be moving this object here. uh, so we would say that add the keyframe and then move it here, then here. So roughly that's how you would do that. Again, if you want it to be exactly, it's just like for the demonstration purposes, but if you really want it to be like uh, uh, equidistant from the central circle, uh, like we're gonna be doing the measuring and then putting the keyframes in there, and okay, and then we're just gonna keep it moving so that it completes the orbit. Once we do that, the last thing I wanted to show is like how you would shade it. So in the shading, you would go to the, so if you try to do the texture paint right now, so the earth, I wanted it to be green and I want the moon to be white. So it won't let you do that. So for that, you will go to the shading, add the new one. While this is, so right now we are talking about this shade, and then add, and then the texture and the image texture, and then you will combine the color with the base color, and then you need to rename it. Let's call it moon. Good. Now we're gonna select this one again, new, add texture, image texture, and then combine the colors, and then you have to name it. We're gonna call it earth. Okay, then you go to the texture paint, you select whichever color you want to select, and then you color, or basically in our case we just want to fill it. This is good, and then select that. We can select it here, go back to the texture paint, select our white color, fill it, and that's it. So after that, there are a few more things. First of all, you're gonna be animate by going to the render and render animation. Okay, it's gonna start rendering, and I will show you the setting now. It's rendering like 2 frames, so it's gonna render almost 250 frames, right? But let me show you how you're gonna be. So if when you are in the layout, you need to go here for the output properties, and then tell him where the what's gonna be the location of that, right? What's gonna be the location of an, uh, you're gonna be selecting the location, and then you're gonna be selecting the PNG or JPEG. I would recommend JPEG because the size is smaller. So you would select the JPEG, and then you would actually go to the render and render animation. Okay, so what would happen, it's gonna create multiple frames for you. So I'm gonna open a new one. Once it's done, once you see that okay, it has rendered 250 frames, you will go to create a new one and say video editing. Save to, no, I don't want to save it right now. And when you are there, okay, so actually what you would do is like you would go here and say uh, in right click, and then, no, not even right click, you would actually go here, add, and then image sequence, and then you would go to where you save your images. You would go there and select all of them, 250, right, and add image strip, and it's gonna add the image strip for you. I already have done that. So after that, once you add the image strip, you would just render and render animation, and it would save the video. But again, you have to go to this output and tell him where you want him to save the final output. And this time, it's not gonna be PNG. It's gonna be the or JPEG. It's gonna be one of these because we're creating a video. So I would recommend FFmpeg video, and this is gonna be the location where you're gonna be saving it. You would go render and render animation, and it's gonna automatically save the video for you. Hope this would help creating the animation.